Hey, what's up, guys? This is Jag Manga for Jaggy Sports. Make sure you hit subscribe to get all the premium content from Jaggy Sports channel. Let's get right into it. Zion Williamson was supposed to be a generational talent, and he still could be, but you know what? I think he's suffering from some mental health issues, and maybe that's the reason why he's 330 pounds. Let's take a look at this.
There was some bad news in the NBA today, and it involves Zion Williamson, who has suffered a setback in his rehab process. He'll be dialed back even further. Zion has not played a game this season because of off-season surgery he had for a fracture in the right foot. He'll be pushed back in the rehab. The team continues to wait for the bone to properly heal. So, Jalen, immediately, when you hear that, what's the first thought that goes through your mind?
That Zion won't play this season. And based on his body type, his weight, when you can't play, in particular with your injuries to your lower extremities, it's really tough to keep your weight down and stay in shape. So I don't think the team is also going to give him a rookie extension for his deal, which now is going to put his future in doubt with that team going forward.
And listen, I hate to say this, but it puts things in doubt in terms of New Orleans and that franchise. I mean, when you're struggling and the guy who was your lifeline is now probably out for the season, you don't know what his future is. What does that do? Look, that community is really small since Katrina, right? And they've got a franchise they are supporting historically in the Saints. You're forced to wonder what is the future of the Pelicans, even though ownership is solid and all of that, Greeny. How much support can there literally be in that community for this team? It makes you wonder, makes me sad.
I'm not wondering about anything. And I don't mean to be the Grinch. I don't want to steal that title from Jalen Rose, but I'm just going to do it right now. Ladies and gentlemen, I've got an announcement to make. Is it possible? Okay, and I'm not saying he's faking his injury. I'm not questioning the legitimacy of it, Wilbon, in any way. I want to be very clear about that. But Zion Williamson will not be playing for the New Orleans Pelicans in 2 years. I believe he's not that enthusiastic about playing for that franchise. Somebody needs to say it. Somebody needs to get it out. So I'm going to do it for y'all. He's not excited. He wants to play the game of basketball, but considering who he is, how box office he is, and what he brings to the table, I know how you are in guardian of smaller market and all of that
That's
stuff.
where I'm
but
going.
some cats don't want it. I truly believe, and it's just my belief, no intel, no inside information, it's just my belief. He is not that enthused about playing in New Orleans.
What would that mean for that franchise? That's my point.
What you get
if you got a guy they've drafted, they built up all their marketing efforts around him, and he's got a couple of pretty good teammates most people would like playing with, then what is the future of the New Orleans franchise if he doesn't want to play for him?
And like the injuries in Portland, to me, don't signify the job Chauncey Billups is going to do. The same thing for Willie Green here with the Pelicans. But I'm with Wilbon here. You lose Zion soon, you might as well lose the team. Seattle on line one.
So, you know, as a NBA player who's making a lot of money, you have all the trainers in the world, you have all the cooks in the world, dietitians and whatnot, everything in the world. But what you don't have is the will. Now, you can't just buy that anywhere. You just can't, like, get somebody else to imply their will or imply your own will on yourself. Now, what's happening here, I think, is Zion Williamson is depressed. He's got some mental health issues, or he's just trying to get traded. It's one of the three, because, for a player to be 330 pounds and eat nothing but garbage all day, sleep at film sessions, show up late, don't even show up to rehab, like I said, it's one of the three. And quite frankly, I thought the thing was that he wanted to get traded, and that possibly could be so, but at the end of the day, you have to think to yourself that what if this guy is suffering from mental health issues, because he basically has the same injury that Joel Embiid had and Kevin Durant had at one time in their careers. Joel Embiid suffered a major injury for his foot right before he even started. So that took him about 2 years to come back originally, and look where he is at now. So are the Pelicans willing to risk that that time with Zion? That remains to be seen. I could tell, like, you know, if you're injured all the time, you're obviously going to get depressed. You know, like, you want to be out there, like Jackson Hayes said. He wants to be out there, but it's like, you know, it's nagging on him, this injury and whatnot. So it's either that, depression, mental health issues, and he doesn't, like, he's just bummed out, or he's trying to get traded. Now, if he's trying to get traded and basically get like 330 pounds, they trade him, and then he, you know, he plays pretty good after that, loses the weight and stuff. I'm not 100% sure, but I do know this. I do know that Zion Williamson has his issues with David Griffin. Now, David Griffin is the new GM, and I just think Zion Williamson doesn't like him. He didn't like Stan Van Gundy. Stan Van Gundy's out as a head coach. Alvin Gentry was in there as the interim head coach. Alvin Gentry's awesome, but you know, he got fired because David Griffin never liked him, even though Alvin Gentry was the one that got him the job. So, you know, I just think that something's got to happen in the Pelicans organization. Should they fire David Griffin, or should they trade Zion Williamson for all those specific reasons? That remains to be seen. We don't know what the answer is to that, but the fact that remains is he's 330 pounds, and, you know, as a premier athlete in the NBA today, you have to keep in tip-top shape if you're going to run around the court. But you know, that's not happening now, and it's kind of like Zion Williamson. I think he's on his deal for the next 3 more years, and I know this is not going to happen for the next 3 years. 330 pounds. If you thought that his foot was bad then, take a look at now, because he just added more weight to his foot. So I don't see that foot healing anytime soon. Like I said before, I think he's out for the season. You know, you just got to start eating better. I've been told that all he's doing is eating junk food and sucking down Mountain Dew or something. That's not going to get the job done. And if you want to be elite like LeBron James, you got to do what he does to his body. Puts nothing but the best foods in there. Trains pretty good. He's in year 19. So Zion Williamson has the ability to be a generational talent, but I just don't think he has the will like LeBron James had at that time in his career. So, you know, everything's there. I think he may be looking for a change, for a way out. If that's the case, he's been rumored to go to New York Knicks. Obviously, the Knicks would have to trade for him and pay a lot in assets to the Pelicans, trade them for Zion Williamson. I'm not sure if they're going to do that, because his trade value is extremely low, because he's 330 pounds and he's got that foot injury. But I just, you know, Pelicans got a choice. They either keep Zion Williamson, fire David Griffin, put like a bunch of assets around Zion Williamson. What they need is a bunch of vets on that team, and I'm not sure they have the proper vets there to help and guide Zion Williamson. you put that on David Griffin. He constructs the team. So if I was him, I would put a lot of vets around that team. But who knows what's going to happen. So like I said, tell me what you guys think. I personally think that he should get traded, but his trade value is low. So, I'm not one to say to fire somebody, fire David Griffin. But the way the Pelicans are constructed right now does not look good. Even without Zion Williamson, they have like a really, really stupid roster. Not looking good, but even though they beat a couple teams in the last couple weeks, and they're starting to pick it up just a tad bit, but we'll see what happens. So like I said, either trade Zion, put some assets around him, help him with his mental health issues if that's the case, or fire David Griffin. Jag Mangat, Jaggy Sports.